All right, say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Jeff, can you wave too? Thank you. Hold on, the camera's up too high. We only get one chance at life, so should we be allowed to end it? I did some research on assisted suicide, mainly in Oregon, where it's legal. I believe assisted suicide should stay illegal because it affects the poor and benefits insurance companies. It's not being used as a means to end pain, but to prevent embarrassment, and it goes against most religions. You should say no to assisted suicide. These are all the states where assisted suicide is legal, but for the purpose of this speech, I'm going to focus on Oregon as a point of reference because it's been legal there for 25 years. My first concern is that this would affect poorer populations. My concern is that insurance companies will start denying life-saving techniques in order to force people into using assisted suicide as their last means of option. Because it's cheaper, it typically costs about $50 to give somebody enough drugs to overdose them and kill them. Whereas, like, for example, cancer treatments could cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars. For example, an article written by Golden in 2003, the incentive to save money by denying treatment is already a significant danger. It would be far greater if assisted suicide was legal. It seems to me that others are concerned about this too. There's proof of this because Golden goes on to say that one of the biggest backers for Oregon's assisted suicide law was Barbara Clumsley, an executive of an insurance company. Lower classes don't want to leave a medical debt burden on their families. As you can see, in 1998, in the first year, it was 0% people chose to use assisted suicide as a means to avoid financial burden on their family. But in 2022, last year, that rose to 17%. That's a pretty large increase, in my opinion, in the last 25 years, and if that trend continues, this could be a main factor as to why somebody would choose to end their life, and that's concerning. We know most people who are on government insurance are on it because they're low income. According to Oregon Health Division, while only 40.2% of people with private insurance, as you can see here, used assisted suicide over the duration of the time that it's been legal. But 58.9% had government insurance and 0.9% had no insurance over the span of the law. This concerns me because that means that there is more people who are lower income that are being affected by this law. The second reason assisted suicide should be illegal is it's not being used as a way to end pain, as its intended purpose is, but as a means to save dignity. According to Golden in 2003, all but one of the people in Oregon who were reported to have used the state's assisted suicide law during its first year wanted suicide not because of pain, but for fear of losing functionability, anonymity, and control of bodily functions. So where do we draw the line? At what point are you so functionally disabled that you should be allowed to commit suicide? So here I have the rest of my board shows you that on the bottom here, only 7% of people in the first year used it as a means of ending their pain, versus all of these other people who used it for an intention other than what it was originally intended to be used for. And the same is pretty much going on here in 2022. Of course, it has increased to 31.3% in the last year, but these are all by far greater than the pain aspect. The third reason assisted suicide should be illegal is religious beliefs. I'm concerned that a doctor may be forced to go against their beliefs in accordance to laws, if passed. Troes in 2009 quoted, backed by leaders of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, states that no healthcare provider should be coerced or pressured into providing assisted suicide or any form of euthanasia. I believe that it's wrong to force someone, even a doctor, to take a life. Doctors are sworn to take an oath to protect people and do things for life-saving measures. Forcing someone to do this could compromise their core beliefs, and it could really affect them in a mental way. The Catholic Church goes on to talk about how assisted suicide seems like a means of removing suffering, but suffering is what brings us together as human beings. Fraga in 2009 quoted the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, who said, the idea that assisting suicide shows compassion and eliminates suffering is misguided. It eliminates the person and results in suffering for those who are left behind. Grieving family and friends and other vulnerable people who may be influenced by this event may see this as a way to escape. Death as an escape, Religions believe that when it's your time, a higher power will call you home. Assisted suicide takes away that power from a creator and puts it into the hands of a person. Assisted suicide goes against the very core idea of religion in this aspect. There are so many more reasons to say no to assisted suicide. I believe that assisted suicide needs to stay illegal because it affects the poor and benefits the insurance companies. It goes against its core belief that it's supposed to be used as a means to end pain, but really it's being used as a way to prevent embarrassment, and it goes against most religions. There is too much of what-ifs to say assisted suicide should be allowed safely. So just say no to assisted suicide. Thank you. Alright, I just need you guys to wave one more time. Prove that you're there. I can't see the phone. There you go. Jeff's there. It's just his shoulder.